Hello guys, this is your friend. We are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Naruto's Hidden Power United the Clans Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start a new fanfic. Naruto, the reason why I asked you to come here is because we need to ask for your help, said Akane with a serious face. Sure. Just tell me what I can do for you. You see, the same sickness that you cured me of, it has also affected the son of my friend Makoto here, and I would like to ask you if it would be possible for you to cure him as well. I can try, but how did the two of you end up with the same sickness? Asked a confused Naruto. In that moment both Akane and Makoto looked at each other, having a silent conversation with their eyes as they remembered that terrible night. Flashback. It was late at night, and a group of shinobi are gathered in a dark room, but they aren't any normal shinobi, they are Anbu, the elite forces that take care of the more critical missions where failure is not an option. In this moment the leader appears. She seems to be a female by her body, because her face is covered with her white mask. We received information about a possible hidden laboratory of that traitorous snake Orochimaru. I don't think that I need to tell you that this is a top priority mission. We go in and take all the information that we can get. What if we find that traitor? Asked one of them. Do not face him alone, call for backup. Any other questions? No. Then you have 2 hours to get ready, we will leave at nightfall. With that final order, all those present leave to get ready for the mission, even a smaller one that looks like an adolescent. When the room is empty, she speaks again. You can come out now. I see that you are as sharp as always, said Makoto. I just knew that you would be here. I know that I would if my child were assigned to this mission. This is not an ordinary mission, I should go as well. You are still recovering from that injury and you know the rules. Multiple family members may not go on the same Anbu mission. I know, but I needed to ask you in person. To protect Itachi. I will, even with my life, but you know that even then I cannot guarantee anything. I know, but also please be careful. I already lost a good friend with Kushina. I would not like to lose another one. Again, no guarantees, but thanks for your concern. Also, please take care of yourself. The masked woman simply nodded her head before she also left the room. Makoto prayed the mission ended without any trouble, but that never happened. A few days later she rushed to the hospital after she received the message that her friend and son had just been admitted there. When she tried to see them she was stopped by the doctor, saying that no unauthorized personnel were allowed inside because they were exposed to an unidentified substance within the laboratory and that they are running some tests to see what damage it caused. While Makoto was waiting, her husband arrived with the Hokage, as they met with another Anbu that participated in the mission to receive their report. It was a trap. The entire complex was a trap and they were waiting for us. Somehow they knew that we were coming. Orochimaru sent his best ninja to kill us, but they seemed to want to Itachi alive. That is why the captain remained close to him, but in the heat of battle an idiot with spider arms shot an arrow that hit a container, releasing some kind of gas or something. The captain tried to cover Itachi, but ended up receiving the biggest part, said the Anbu member. They had more questions, but in that moment the doctor arrived. He had news and by the look on his face, it wasn't good. End of the flashback. We were in the same place when we were infected, answered Akane. Do you want to take me to where your son is now? Asked Naruto. Yes, but first you have to eat something. Remember what happened when you cured me. Now I want all of you to go wash your hands and get ready to eat. You can go with Makoto after that. Hinata and Hanabi take Naruto to where he can wash his hands and leave the two friends in the room. He is so very like his father, isn't he? Asked Makoto. So, you realized it too. Only a blind idiot would not see the familial resemblance. Makoto then remained silent for a moment, and then she continued. I thank you for this. It is Naruto that you should thank, not me. I know, but you know what I mean. I couldn't protect Itachi-kun as I promised you. You brought him home with his family instead of being in one of Orochimaru's hideouts, with Kami only knows what kinds of experiments been performed on him. I should have done more. You did enough, my friend. Do the Anbu still have no idea about how that snake bastard knew that you were going? My only guess is that there is a spy. The two friends then headed to where the kids were waiting for them. An hour and a meal later, Naruto is now walking with Makoto and Akane towards the Uchiha compound. Hinata and Hanabi also wanted to go with them, but her mother told them not to for today. When they arrived at the Uchiha compound, Naruto could see the same looks he was used to seeing from the adults of the village in the faces of the Uchiha clan, but just like the Hyūga clan, they did not do anything because the matriarch was with him. Soon they arrived at the main house where they could see how a young boy was keeping watch at the entrance of their home. Itachi, I told you that you should rest inside the house. I am fine, mother, and a little activity will be good for me. It is good to see you again, Akane-sama, said Itachi looking at his former captain. It is nice to see you as well. Tell me how you feel. I received a smaller dose of that substance than you, so the disease is progressing slower than in your case, but I see that you are feeling better. The fact that you are here with my mother tells me that you want to tell me something that might be the news that I have been hoping for. We will talk about this inside the house. By the way, this young boy is Naruto. While this was happening, a father and son were spending time together near the lake. Normally that would be a good thing as they deepen their bonds, but not on this occasion. Again, Sasuke, this time you have to make the fire jutsu bigger. I am trying, father, said a tired Sasuke who has been practicing this jutsu since he came home after school. When Itachi was your age he did it without my help. Maybe I was wrong to expect the same from you. I can do it, father. Maybe, but not today. It is time to go home. Sasuke began to follow his father while thinking about how his life has changed in the last few months. It all began when one day some Anbu came to his home. He knew that his brother was one of them, so he believed that they came looking for him, but when his mother saw them, the expression of fear on her face made him fear that something was wrong. That fear became a reality when the next day he went with his parents to visit his brother in the hospital. They began to tell him many things that he did not understand in that moment, but he understood one thing. His brother may not be a ninja anymore. That was something that hit him hard, because he loved his brother and wanted to be like him, and now he may not be a ninja anymore. That was extremely hard for him to accept, but for his parents it was even worse, especially for his father who had placed all his hopes in Itachi and now he was frustrated. He always wanted his father's attention, but now it seemed that he wanted to put all his hopes in him, and in this moment he didn't know if he should be happy or worried because of that. What would happen if he did not live up to his expectations, and what will happen if his brother never recovers? He saw his mother cry when she believed that she was alone, and that worried him a lot, because he is afraid of what could happen to his family if Itachi died. When he arrived at his home, he saw that his father was looking at the Genkin and saw that there are two unfamiliar sets, one of an adult woman and the other of a boy around his size. He followed his father into the living room. Here he could see that his mother was hugging his brother while a woman that had clothes of the Hyūga clan was sitting beside a boy that looked very tired. Wait a minute, he knew that blonde kid. What are you doing here, fool? Sasuke, mind your manners, he is a guest. Sasuke, what are you doing here? I like here, now answer the question. Before Naruto could answer, his mother stopped him. I asked him to come here and see Itachi, was his mother's answer, but in that moment, he saw how she looked at his father and then turned to see the woman next to her. What that meant, he didn't know, but his father did. I believe that it is time to take our leave, said the Hyūga woman while she took Naruto's hand and began to walk. Wait, said Itachi as he walked towards them until he was right in front of Naruto. I want to thank you for what you did for me. You have a great talent and I am sure that you will do amazing things in the future, and one day I will repay this debt. It was nothing. You should thank Akane-sama because she was the one that asked me to come. I will, said Itachi. How can this be possible? Thought Sasuke. That fool was a good for nothing and now his brother is praising him, and for what? He did not see any difference. When that Hyūga woman and the fool left their home, his father turned to his mother. What was all this? As you can see, Akane came to deliver a solution to Itachi's condition. But how? From all that I know she should be dead by now. That could be the case, but thankfully she discovered that young Naruto had a gift in the healing's arts and now Itachi will recover. After he has rested until he is fully recovered, says Makoto, stressing the first word to make Itachi understand that this time he must follow her instructions. Is it true, son? Are you cured? I cannot say for certain, but I feel better than I did before, so I take that as a good sign. We must be certain about this. I will go and call a clan medic to confirm this. He did not wait for an answer and left the compound while his mother sent Itachi to his room so he can rest. How he should feel about what has just happened. If his brother recovers, does that mean that his father will treat him the same as before? What about the fool? He heard how Iruka said to the class that Naruto can use a healing jutsu, but the doctors at the hospital could too. Could it be that the fool has a real talent for something? Enough to make his brother impressed with him? That cannot be. It is not fair. He trains all the time to impress his family and now that idiot came and in 1 hour managed to get something that he has always wanted. Yes, he is thankful that his brother will recover, but if that fool believes that he is better than him just for this, then he will show him his true place. Back with Naruto and Akane. Are you okay? This time looked harder than when you helped Yakumo-chan. I know, for some reason it was harder to use my chakra this time. What Naruto did not know was that Kurama did not want to help an Uchiha at first, but after a while, he decided that having them owe a favor to Naruto could be something worthwhile, so in the end he accepted to give him his chakra to help Itachi. By the way, how do you feel? Today the doctors gave me their approval to return to my duties as a shinobi, said Akane with a smile. That is great. I am sure that Hinata and Hanabi will be happy to hear that. They continue to talk while they are walking until they had to take different roads. Without knowing that this day, he had gained an ally and his worst enemy, but that story will be revealed to him in the future. The next day. All right class, now we will have some sparring. Taijutsu only, the first ones will be the girls, said Iruka as he saw his students around the sparring area. One by one, the girls stepped up to face each other. The first one of Naruto's group of friends to fight was Yakumo. Normally, Yakumo's sickness would have made it impossible for her to participate in this kind of exercise, but it had been some time since Naruto helped her, and thanks to her training sessions with him and the Hyūga sisters, she has really improved a lot and this will be her first chance to prove it. Her opponent was Amy, another of Sasuke's fangirls. She personally did not know what was so special about him, not that she is interested in any boys now that she has the chance to become a ninja, something that she almost lost once, and she does not have any intention to lose this new opportunity that she has received. Besides, when the time came to date a boy, instead of a rude and dark boy, she preferred a nice and interesting one. Looks like the sick doll managed to get into the ring. I hope that you enjoy this experience, because I will send you back to the hospital. Yakumo said nothing and just waited for Iruka's signal. Begin. Amy did not lose any time and jumped to attack Yakumo, believing that it will be an easy win that will make her look better in front of Sasuke. Take this, she said as she launched a punch to Yakumo's face, only to see how the world spun around as she landed on her back. Ah! She screamed in pain. The match is over. Winner Yakumo, said Iruka. This is it. I was expecting something more interesting, said Yakumo. She has just used a move that Naruto taught her. When an opponent attacks you head-on, they will leave their defense open. If you manage to change their center of gravity by applying a little push to their feet and the fist that they are attacking you with, you can use their own strength against them. The theory seemed simple, but it took her a lot of practice with Naruto, Hinata and Hanabi to learn that technique. Seeing how Amy lost with a single move, It showed her that all her hard work has paid off. Now that she thought about it, it is almost as if Naruto knew the kind of style that it will work for her. You did great, Yakumo, said Naruto, with Hinata and Hanabi nodding their heads. Okay, the next ones will be Hinata and Ino. The two girls stepped into the ring. I hope that you do not take this personally, Hinata, but I have to win, said Ino. Let's do our best, said Hinata. Begin. Ino began the match with a strike that Hinata easily avoided, followed by a kick that Hinata avoided just as easily. You are too open, Ino. Try to keep your guard up when you attack. Ino ignored those words and tried to get close so she could kick her, but Hinata once again avoided the attack. You are telling me what kind of moves you are going to make before you even attack. That could be dangerous if an enemy took advantage of it. Can you take this seriously? I am serious. Then fight me, said Ino as she kept attacking, but Hinata was still able to avoid each one of her attacks. From the corner of her eye she saw how Sasuke seemed uninterested in her, so she charged right at her. But this time Hinata not only avoided her attack, she landed a single palm strike in her solar plexus, leaving her gasping for air and forcing her onto her knees. But she managed to raise her head. I thought that we were friends. We are. That is why I did this. I used to hold back because I was afraid that I will hurt my friends and that they will hate me. But Naruto-kun taught me that by holding back I am only hurting my friends by making them believe that they are better than they actually are, said Hinata as she looked at Ino. You are good, Ino, but you are not ready yet. You need to focus more on your training. Winner Hinata. You were amazing, Hinata, said Naruto. That's right, said Hanabi. Yakumo was smiling at her. Okay, the next one will be Sakura and Hanabi. Yeah, I am lucky. I am facing the little princess, said Sakura that was next to them. Excuse me, asked an angry Hanabi. Do not take it personally, little princess, but we all know that you are only here because of your clan. Well, all the better for me because now Sasuke-kun will see how great I am. And with that Sakura got into the sparring area. That little, whatever Hanabi was about to say, she was stopped when her sister put her hand over her shoulder. Believing that her sister was about to stop her from saying what she was thinking about the pink-haired girl, she remembered her position as a Hyūga. I am sorry, Hinata Onasama. Teach her a lesson, was Hinata's reply with a small smile. Hanabi looked at her surprised by what she had just said. It is true that her sister has become more confident than before. Little by little, she has begun to show it more openly. Are you sure? Asked Hanabi. Hey little princess, the match is scheduled for today, said Sakura from the center of the ring. Pretty sure, said Hinata. With that Hanabi stepped into the ring with a predatory look on her face. She said nothing as she waited for the signal to begin the fight. Begin. Now you will grahhh. Whatever Sakura was about to say got lost when in a blink of an eye Hanabi jumped and punched her stomach. Did you say something? Mocked Hanabi. Sakura tried to strike back only to miss her target while Hanabi turned around and punched her back. I am waiting for my lesson. You. Sakura stood up again and tried to attack her, but with such a simple form and the technique learned in the academy she was no match for someone who has trained her entire life in a clan that specialized in taijutsu. Her charge ended when Hanabi moved aside, avoiding her attack and spinning over her own body. Hanabi managed to place herself behind Sakura and with a little kick, Sakura lost her step and fell out of the ring, right at the feet of Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, said Sakura hoping that Sasuke will help her stand up, but that never happened because Sasuke only looked at where Naruto and the girls were. Winner Hanabi. After that, a couple of other girls stepped into the ring and had their match, but they were nothing special. Then came the turn of the boys. One by one they stepped into the ring, but there was nothing special. Shikamaru asked if he could quit the match before it even started and Choji did not want to leave his potato chips. The only decent match was between Kiba and Shino, this being won by Kiba. Now the next one will be Naruto and I will go, said Sasuke. Are you sure? Asked a girl. Yeah, why fight that fool? He is an easy win and you cannot show how great you are. Added another one. But Sasuke just ignored them, and even without the confirmation of Iruka he stepped into the ring in front of Naruto. Seeing that is the end, and both must have a training match, Iruka allowed this to happen. Begin. Naruto barely managed to avoid a punch that Sasuke launched at his face, but the danger did not end there as a spinning kick almost got him. Naruto took advantage of the moment that he missed to make a leg sweep that got Sasuke and made him fall onto his back, but he jumped up and kicked at Naruto's side, with Naruto blocking it but still taking a couple of steps back. Not wasting any time, Sasuke attacked again, trying to hit him in the head, but using his left hand Naruto changed the trajectory of the attack to one side, leaving Sasuke open to an attack, something that he took advantage of by launching a kick aiming for his stomach, but Sasuke saw this and jumped back to avoid the attack. Now that they were in front of each other, they took their fighting stances, with Sasuke taking the one that has been used by his clan for generations. Naruto for his part was using a stance that no one has seen in many decades, but in this moment no one knows that, because he is using Hashirama's stance. Soon they attack each other again, with hits and strikes flying between each of them, with no one getting the upper hand. What is happening? Asked a boy from the group. Naruto is supposed to be an easy win, said another one. This is troublesome, but if Naruto keeps getting better, he will no longer be the dead last and my mom will force me to train more so I don't get that position, said Shikamaru. The fight keeps going without a clear winner when Iruka stops the fight. That is enough, said Iruka as he stepped between the two of them. I am happy to see that you have been practicing. But no one won Iruka-sensei. It is not always about a win. Today you had the chance to see how far you have improved so you can see what you still need to work on. While Iruka was saying this, Sasuke was looking at Naruto. How was it possible that the dead last has managed to tie a match with him? This means that either he is weak or the fool is getting better. Sook. He heard a voice. Sasuke. It was Iruka. Did you hear what I said? Yeah. Said Sasuke without emotion as he left the ring without saying anything. Wait, Sasuke-kun, said Sakura as she ran after him. What do you want? I was wondering if you could help me with my training so I can teach that little princess a lesson the next time. Why should I waste my time with someone as weak as you? Said Sasuke as he kept walking, leaving a sad Sakura behind. After that day, Sasuke took every opportunity to compete with Naruto. In everything, Naruto for his part took it as a challenge and was happy to comply by doing his best. Sasuke was mad. Even the girls that are close to Naruto are strong, at least stronger than the annoying fangirls that are always pestering him. That thought caused Sasuke to consider that maybe one of them is the one helping Naruto to get stronger. That is something that he needed to know. At the end of the day, when the classes ended, the students were packing their things before they can leave. So far all this was normal, but today, something that no one had expected happened. Hyūga-san, I would like to talk with you, said Sasuke, surprising everyone. About what? I would prefer to talk in private. I see. Hinata turned to see Naruto. Hanabi and Yakumo, please wait for me at the main gate, I will be there in a moment. Are you sure that you want to do it? Asked Hanabi. We will only talk. We will wait for you, and if he says or does anything rude to you, just tell me and I will teach him a lesson, said Naruto. Hinata smiled at him, then turned to face Sasuke. I had an appointment with my clan after class, so if you want to talk, I can only give you a few moments. I just want to ask you something. With that, Sasuke and Hinata walked away. However, that little talk did not go unnoticed by the other girls in the class. Did you see that? Said one of them. Sasuke-kun never talked with anyone, but now he is asking to talk with that Hyūga, why? Said another one. You don't believe that he likes her. That is not true, said Sakura, joining the conversation. But he never talked with any of us. Sasuke-kun will never like a girl like Hinata in a million years, said Sakura. Even if that is the case, I believe that there must be something, said Ino for the first time. What do you mean, Ino pig? Like it or not, in this moment Hinata is the strongest girl in our class, maybe that is why he is interested. I do not understand what you are trying to say, said an angry Sakura. That Sasuke-kun likes strong girls. I don't know about you, but I have the best score in the academy. And when has that impressed Sasuke? Hinata showed that she is strong, and now Sasuke wants to talk to her. You can graduate with the highest book grades and Sasuke will not care, but if I show him that I am stronger, he will want to be with me. You, please. You are probably the weakest person in the room. Ha, as if you are better than me. Maybe not, but at least I have a plan. A plan? Asked Sakura. While they are talking in the back garden of the academy, Sasuke and Hinata arrive. Did you want to ask me something? Asked Hinata. What did you do to help the fool to become strong in such a short time? Excuse me. That fool has grown stronger over the time since he became a close friend of yours. He is an orphan with no clan to support him, and the only thing that I can think of that explains how he has improved is that you or someone of your clan has been helping him. What made you believe that I'm the one that helped Naruto-kun to get stronger? Because you are from a noble clan and no one else cares for that loser, so you should stop wasting your time on him. I will appreciate it if you do not call Naruto-kun a loser or a fool, because he is nothing like that, said Hinata in a cold voice. You need to see the reality. You are from a noble clan and you are hurting your image and future by associating with that idiot. You are crossing the line by calling him that, and who is the person that couldn't win against him today? Said Hinata with a dark shadow over her eyes. That was something that Sasuke did not like to hear. I am trying to do you a favor because we belong to noble clans. I do not need any favors from you, and just so you know, you are wrong. It wasn't me or my clan that helped Naruto to become stronger. It was Naruto that helped me, my sister and Yakumo to become stronger, so your advice is neither needed or wanted. Have a nice day, said Hinata, leaving before Sasuke had the chance to say anything more. The fool helped her to become stronger. That is ridiculous, said Sasuke as he left as well. At the main gate. That was fast. What did he want? Asked Naruto. Nothing worthy of my time, said Hinata in a normal voice, but her friends knew that she was furious. Did he say something to bother you, One-sama? Not about me, about Naruto-kun. What did he say? Asked Yakumo. He asked if my clan is the reason why he has improved and asked me to stop that help. But no one has helped Naruto to get this strong, he had to do it alone, said Hanabi. But he didn't know that, added Yakumo. We will teach him a lesson, said Hanabi. It doesn't matter, said Naruto. When the girls looked at him, he continued. He is not saying anything worse than what I have heard before. Besides, you know the truth and that is all that matters to me. The three girls looked at him. He seemed calm, but Hinata knew that he was sad and was trying to hide it. Seeing him getting hurt was something that made Hinata angry, something that was getting more apparent as she gained more confidence and her personality grew to be more secure with herself. Excuse me, said a voice from behind them. It was Ino, with Sakura standing just behind her. Yes, asked Naruto. I was wondering if you will allow us to train with you. Asked Ino. This was something that they did not expect. Why? Asked Yakumo. Well, what happened today taught us that we need to improve, and since you are the group that has improved more than anyone else, I was wondering if you can help us. Said Ino in a sweet voice. The girls for their part knew that she was up to something, but Naruto spoke, completely oblivious to their concerns. Sure. We train together 3 days per week after class. If you want, you can join us tomorrow. Yep. He still didn't know how to read girls. Hinata and Hanabi recalled the words of their mother about how girls may come after Naruto when he began to show how good he really is. Thank you. I will be counting on you from now on, and with that Ino left with Sakura following her. Are you sure that this is a good idea? Asked Hanabi. About what? Asked Naruto. Hanabi was about to say something but Hinata put a hand on her shoulder. When she turned to see her, she only shook her. Hanabi understood what her sister meant. Even if she told him what she believed about this situation, he will still have no clue about this. Without saying anything else, they walked away. In a different part of the village, Ino and Sakura were talking. "This is your plan? Ask the class clown and his friends to train with us." "Yes," said Ino with a big smile. "I don't remember having to force you to agree. That was because I was a fool to believe that you may have a good idea." "You do not understand." "What do I need to understand?" "Sasuke-kun is only interested in strong girls, but also the ones that are trying to become the strongest, especially if they are close to Naruto." "You are crazy." "Really, forehead? Then can you explain to me why after years of being in the same class with Hinata, he only now paid attention to her, just when she showed how strong she was after she spent time with Naruto? If you want to leave, that is fine by me, but you will regret it when in a couple of months Sasuke-kun comes looking after me." Even if Sakura did not want to admit it, part of her believed that this may actually a good idea. "Oh, what the hell? She will give it a try." Back with Naruto. This was one of the days where Hinata, Hanabi and Yakumo had to train with their clans, so Naruto was training alone in his favorite spot in the forest. "Aw man, why I can't do this?" said Naruto as he saw how the seed in his hand had not changed at all. It had been around a year since he discovered that one of the men that he saw in his dream was the first Hokage. In the last year, many things had changed. His friendship with Hinata had grown and he became friends with her sister Hanabi as well. He even managed to help her mother using a technique that he saw that other man with the white clothes use. Maybe he was a doctor. After that he even healed Yakumo and Itachi. Either way, in all that time he had been trying to use the Mokuton that the book said was what made the first Hokage so powerful, but with no success. After a while, he decided to begin to practice the forms that he saw in his dreams last night. It was another dream of the first Hokage training with his brother. It was a form meant for two people, but because he was alone, he decided to create a shadow clone and began to practice. He had been practicing for about 30 minutes when a couple of voices attracted his attention. "Excuse me, boy," said an old man that was carrying a big cooking pot on his back that was accompanied by a small old man wearing a yellow jacket. "Yes. We were wondering where you learned that form," asked the one with the yellow jacket. "Who are you and why do you want to know?" "Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot to introduce ourselves. My name is Kosuke and this is my friend Chen." "Nice to meet you," said Chen. "I am Naruto, but why do you want to know about that form?" "Just curious. It looked a lot like the form that someone that we knew used to practice," answered Kosuke. For Naruto, being the focus of attention was something nice, but then he remembered something that Akane told him. "I am sorry, but Akane-sama told me that ninja must have their own secrets and that they do not have to tell them to just anyone." "That is a very good advice," said Chen. "Indeed. By the way, when you said Akane, you wouldn't happen to be talking about Akane Hyūga, would you? Did you know her?" "Well, when you have been a genin for around 50 years, at one point or another you have crossed paths with some of the most famous shinobi of this village. Akane happened to be one of them." "Genin for 50 years? How is that possible?" asked a surprised Naruto. "Well, many things happened. Don't let that fool you. Even if he is a genin, his real level is an elite jonin." "Then why he is still a genin?" "As you just said, every ninja has their secrets," answered Chen. "By the way, did you also know Akane-chan?" asked Kosuke. "She is the mother of two of my friends, and she is super nice to me. The last thing that I heard about her was that she was very sick." "Yes, she was, but she got better. She even said that soon she will be able to go back to her job as a ninja." "That is really good to hear. I will pay her a visit if that is the case." After he said that, he and Chen walked away, while Naruto kept practicing. "What are you thinking?" asked Chen. "The same thing that you are," answered Kosuke. About how an orphan boy is practicing the same form that Hashirama-sama and Tobirama-sama taught us all those years ago when we were just little kids. Correct. How are you planning to get answers? By talking with the only person that may know them. Akane. Well, you will need to go alone. Still want the entire village to believe that you are dead, except for your family. As you just said, all ninja have their secrets. A few moments after they parted ways, Kosuke was in front on the Hyūga compound. Normally, the guards would tell him to go away, but he was well known by many shinobi. Therefore, when he asked to talk with Akane, one of the guards went to look for her. What a surprise, I did not expect to see you so soon. How have you been, Kosuke? I am fine and glad to see that the rumors about your recovery were true. It was a welcome surprise, but something tells me that you aren't here to talk about the old times. I just wanted to ask you something about a boy named Naruto. Do you know him? He is the best friend of my two daughters. I see. By any chance, do you know how he learned the basic form for the style that the first and second Hokage used to train? Tell me everything, said a serious Akane as they moved inside to talk about what had just happened. Time skip 5 months. For the last 5 months, things had been getting remarkably interesting for Naruto. In the days when he had to train alone, Kosuke and Chen had come to give him some advice, and little by little they had begun to teach him what they knew, even if at the beginning Chen said that he did not want to teach another student. However, after a few weeks of training, either because he was bored or because Naruto managed to win him over a little, Master Chen showed him his technique, the Konoha Ryujin. Little Naruto was incredibly surprised to see that technique, and as any other aspiring ninja would, he began to ask him to teach him that technique. However, Chen said him that he needed a wind affinity in order to use that technique. When Naruto asked what that was, Kosuke taught him about chakra affinities, then after a few days he brought some chakra papers to test his affinity. Now Naruto, the only thing that you need to do is concentrate a little of your chakra into this paper. If the paper burns, you have a fire affinity. If the paper gets wet, you have a water affinity. If the paper crumbles to dust, you have an earth affinity. If the paper wrinkles, you have a lighting affinity, and if the paper splits in half, then you have a wind affinity. All right, let's see what amazing affinity I have, said Naruto as he focused his chakra over the paper. What happened next was something that neither Chen nor Kosuke expected. The paper split in half, with one part getting wet and the other crumbling to dust. What does this mean? Asked a confused Naruto. It means that you are a very special boy. It looks like you have affinities for water, earth and wind, said Kosuke. We will need time to see how to proceed from here. By the way, can I keep the other papers? I have friends that I am sure will want to know their affinities. Sure, that is no problem. That ended the training for that day, but for Naruto this was not over, because that night he saw in his dream when the first Hokage was training in a waterfall. The images of his training seemed to move past the seasons, from spring to winter, and in each of the images Hashirama grew older, but the more important thing was that the progress he achieved in his training was also present. He saw how the first Hokage went from creating a small earth knoll to create a big wall, and from raising a little ball of water from the waterfall nearby to creating a water dragon. Ino point of view. Next day, she still cannot believe that this was her idea. When she told Sakura that if they became closer to Naruto and became stronger, Sasuke would want to pay attention to them, part of her did not believe that. However, she wanted to bother Sakura, because she knew that she would do anything to impress Sasuke. She has hoping that after a few days Sakura would have given up, so she could have made fun of her. However, the forehead did not give up, and even when she told her that maybe she should quit, her only answer was that, I will not allow you to get closer to Sasuke-kun than me. That was her answer, even if she had to force herself to train with Naruto and the others, but she had to force herself to be nice to them even if she did not like them. For her part, Ino wanted to give up, but her father had seen her progress and asked her if she had been training for her part. When she told him that she had been training with a group of classmates after class, her father practically told her that she must continue with this routine. Me and my great ideas, she thought to herself. Now she was following Naruto and the others to their training ground, but she must admit that she was getting stronger. Who knew that Naruto could be so good when he was training others? Just wait until you see what I have to show you. Sakura point of view. She can't believe that she accepted Ino Pig's idea. Not only does she have to spend time with that dead last, and his special friends, but with Ino as well. Now she was covered in sweat and dirt at the end of every day. She would die if Sasuke-kun saw her in that state, but this also had its advantages, because after a couple of weeks of doing this, just when she was about to quit, she saw how Sasuke was looking in her direction. Maybe this plan was not such a bad idea. The final proof that she was doing the right thing was when Ino tried to convince her to quit. She must have seen how Sasuke-kun was looking at her and now she wanted all his attention for herself. However, that will not happen. She has been working too hard playing nice with that fool Naruto and his friends on top of this crazy training they do every day that they can. However, all this will be worth it if she managed to make Sasuke-kun fall in love with her. Just wait until you see what I have to show you, said Naruto, attracting her attention. What is it? Asked Hanabi. This, said Naruto as he showed them the chakra paper. Paper? Asked an incredulous Sakura. But not just any piece of paper. This paper can tell you the jutsu that you can do better. Just look, said Naruto as he put a little of his chakra into the paper, obtaining the same result as yesterday. The old man Kosuke told me that if the paper burned you had a fire affinity, if the paper got wet you had a water affinity, if the paper became dust you had an earth affinity, if the paper wrinkled you had a lighting affinity, and if the paper split in half you had a wind affinity. A genin that I met. But if he is a genin, how can he be an old man? Asked Yakumo. Because he has been a genin for around 50 years. What? How can you take advice from a person that has been a genin for 50 years? Asked a surprised Ino. I am not sure why he is still a genin, but he is super strong. He even knows Hinata and Hanabi's mother. He must have his reasons, said Hinata as she got closer to Naruto. What do I need to do? Just take a piece of paper and put your chakra into it. Hinata did that and then, the piece of paper split in two. Hinata-chan, you have wind. Me next, said Hanabi as she took a piece of paper. Hanabi's paper got wet. You have water, Hanabi. I wanted to be wind like one Sama. Do not worry. Water is an amazing affinity, just as you are also amazing. This caused Hanabi to blush. I am the next one, said Yakumo, who saw her paper wrinkle. You have lighting, Yakumo. Well, I suppose that I am next, said Ino, who also saw how her paper wrinkle. You have lighting as well, said Naruto as he turned to see Sakura and offer her the last paper. Oh well, let's give it a try, said Sakura as her paper turned into dust. You have earth, Sakura. A worthy element for someone like you, said Ino. What did you say? Answered an angry Sakura. I wouldn't say that is a bad element. After all, the first Hokage had an earth affinity, said Naruto to calm them down. Don't joke around, Naruto, said Sakura. It is true, said a voice from behind them. Someone that Naruto had only met once. Itachi-san, said Naruto. Hello there, Naruto. Are you sure that you can be outside? The doctors said that I am fine, and I just decided to train a little. That is when I heard you. Naruto, do you know this person? Ah, sorry, I forgot to introduce you. He is Itachi Uchiha, Sasuke's older brother. Nice to meet you all. You are Sasuke-kun's brother, said Ino and Sakura at the same time. Yes, I hope that my little brother hasn't caused you any trouble. There is no way for that to happen. Sasuke-kun is super nice, said Sakura, trying to score a few points with her future brother-in-law, while Hinata, Hanabi and Yakumo rolled their eyes. Did you say that the first Hokage had earth affinity? Asked Ino, trying to attract the attention of Itachi. That is correct. In fact, I am surprised that you are already learning your elemental affinities, Normally you learn about that when you are Genin or Chunin. We are trying to be the best in the academy, said Sakura, hoping to leave a good impression with Itachi, while the other girls made a face like they have tasted something bitter when they heard Sakura say that. It is good to see how academy students are giving their best, said Itachi. Thank you. Do you have some advice about our elements affinities? Said Naruto. Elemental jutsu are advanced compared with what you saw in the academy, not only in the complexity, but also in the physical requirements, so for now I would recommend for you to increase your stamina and chakra control, that way it will be easier to train your elemental affinity. Thank you, Itachi-san, said Sakura, still trying to look good in front of him. This is nothing, besides, I owe Naruto big time. You do? Asked Ino. Yes, I do. Naruto has an innate talent as a healer and I would not be surprised if in the future he made a big name for himself in that field. After that Itachi gave them a few more pointers before he left. I have to go. If I want to go back to active duty I must focus on my training, but if I have time I can come and give you some more advice. That will be great, said Naruto. A few moments later in another training ground. Sasuke was training alone. Is this the best that you can do? Sasuke heard a voice from behind. When he turned to see who it was, he saw a man in the top of a tree with an Anbu mask, but there was something rare with his mask, it only showed his left eye and it had a spiral pattern. Who are you? Just someone that was passing by. What do you want? Nothing special. I just wanted to confirm if the rumor was true, that the younger brother of the prodigy Itachi was a failure. Sasuke did not like to hear that, so he took a couple of shuriken and thrown them at him. However, the man caught them with a single hand. Truly disappointing. I can see why your brother has begun to train that Naruto boy instead of you. He probably saw that the class clown had more potential than you. My brother will never waste his time with that loser. Then why don't you ask him, or even better, the girls that are always with Naruto? I believe the two of them used to follow you, but I guess they saw the same thing that your brother did, that you are useless. After he said those words, he just disappeared. Who the hell does he think he is? That night, Sasuke wanted to ask Itachi if what that strange Anbu told him was true, but he could not. A part of him kept repeating in his head that there is no point, that it was a lie, but another part of him was worried that what he said could be true. For that reason, the next day he did something that he never expected to do. He called for one of those annoying fan girls that bothered him so much. Sakura, do you have a minute? Said Sasuke. He didn't care who gave him the answer, so he asked the first one he saw, which happened to be Sakura as they were walking to the academy. Yes, Sasuke-kun. To Sakura this was unbelievable. Sasuke-kun was calling for her. I would like to ask you something. Yes, said Sakura with hope that he will ask her for a date, or even better, to be his girlfriend. Is it true that you have been training with Naruto and that my brother has been helping all of you? Yes, was Sakura's immediate answer. Even if the question was not what she was expecting, she was still happy that Sasuke-kun is finally paying attention to her. Take that Ino pig, she said in her mind. I see, said Sasuke in a dark tone that Sakura did not notice. She was so happy that he talked to her that nothing else mattered. If only she could hear what Sasuke was thinking in that moment, she would not have been so happy. Sasuke for his part kept walking toward the academy, with Sakura following with a big smile on her face. However, this is not over for Sasuke, as the last thing that he wanted to happen will happen when Iruka called for this week's sparring session. You have advanced little by little in these sparring matches, but now it is time to increase the level, because as you know in real life many of the fights that you will find in your career will not be fair. We will proceed with a new way of training. Then looking at the students around him, he showed them 4 scarves of different colors, white, blue, yellow and red. I will place these scarves on you and you will move to the 4 corners of the sparring area. Then when I say one color of one of you, the other 3 have to attack him until I say another color. Then all of you will have to attack the one with the new color that I said. We will keep doing this until all 4 of you have faced the other 3. But that is too intense, said one of the girls. What is the point of training in this way? Said another boy. Because this way you will learn to fight against multiple enemies at the same time, and by attacking a single person with the help of your teammates you will learn to coordinate efforts to take your enemy down. But that is not fair. Life and war are never fair. Oh, and from now on, girls and boys will be sparring together. With a final complaint from many of the students, Iruka began to call them 4 at a time. Yakumo and Hanabi had to be in the same group, and while Hanabi dominated the group, Yakumo showed that she is not that far behind. Nothing bad considering that half a year ago she was about to abandon her dream to become a ninja because of her health. Sakura and Ino were in the same group with another 2 boys, but to the surprise of everyone, they put up a good fight. Now will be Naruto with the red color, Amy with the white, Kiba with the blue and Choji with the yellow. Wait, said Sasuke. Is there something you want to ask Sasuke? I want to fight that fool. He has a name and you recently had a match with him, just wait and another chance will appear. With that said, Naruto and the other 3 stepped into the ring. Begin, attack the blue one. With that said, all the other 3 began to attack Kiba. But while this was happening, with the group of students that were looking at the fight, we saw how Sasuke walked towards a single student. Did you need something, Sasuke-san? Said Hinata without turning to see him. Nothing. I was looking for a better place to watch the matches to see how far that loser will last, especially if he is depending on the pity of others. What made you say that? The cool tone of Hinata was evident. He is only a beggar that depends on others to become strong. He has no talent nor even a family. To be honest, I don't know how long you will give him support, but I am sure that in the moment that he is alone again, he will go back to being the same pathetic loser that we all know he is. Sasuke would have said more, but the look in Hinata's eyes when she turned to look at him stopped him cold. I do not know what your problem with Naruto-kun is, but you are sadly mistaken if you think that I will ever leave him alone, and you are wrong if you believe that I or anyone else is the reason why Naruto-kun is so strong. The reason why he is so strong is because he is special, and once he learns just how amazing he really is, he will be unstoppable. That is why Hanabi, Yakumo and I are training, because we want to be able to stand at his side. You are fooling yourselves, said Sasuke. I see, you are afraid of him. I am not afraid of anything. Yes, you are afraid that a boy that grew up alone can become stronger than you, someone that has had all the advantages. You don't know anything about me. Neither do you know about Naruto, or me and the others, yet you keep judging us. I am saying the truth, and if you keep refusing to believe what I am saying, that means that you are also as useless as him. Hinata did not say anything, she just turned to look at him with cold eyes. Okay, that was a good job. The next group to come in will be Sasuke, Mei, Kotaro, another Uchiha, and Hinata, said Iruka that has just ended the previous match. It seems that I will have the chance to teach you how weak you are, said Sasuke as he got to the sparring area. Without saying a word, Hinata began to walk, until something caught her attention. Do your best, Hinata, said Naruto as they crossed way when he was walking out from the sparring area. I will, said Hinata, with a sweet smile that turned into a hard look when she saw Sasuke waiting for her. Okay, Hinata will be the white, Sasuke the red, Kotaro the blue and Mei the yellow. Begin. Attack the yellow. Therefore, they began the sparring. One by one, the turn to be attacked was changing, until it was the turn of Hinata to be attacked. Now I will teach you a lesson, said Sasuke as he turned to the other 2. You do not interfere. However, Hinata did not seem worried about that declaration, and that only increased the fury in Sasuke. Without wasting any time, he tried to punch her in the face, something that she avoided without trouble. Sasuke began to use the form that he was taught as part of his clan taijutsu. Those movements were powerful and strong, something one would not expect to see in academy sparring. That was not the only surprise, as Hinata seemed to be dancing as she avoided the attacks, because in the moment that Sasuke gave a small opening, Hinata counterattacked, and without compassion or hesitation she hit him in his side, causing a terrible pain that paralyzed his arm. "Argg. I am waiting for my lesson," spoke Hinata's cool voice. That surprised the entire class. Seeing that the sweet and gentle Hinata punched Sasuke without remorse is something that they never expected. Once again, Sasuke tried to hit her with his other arm, only for his strike to be avoided again and receive a hit in his other side. "Argg. Screamed Sasuke. You are using your Byakugan." When Sasuke said that, Hinata raised her face and with her hand she moved her hair from her brow, revealing her eyes, her normal eyes. "After training for so long, I know the location of the chakra points without my Byakugan, and while I cannot close them without it, I still can cause a lot of pain, wouldn't you agree?" asked Hinata as she delivered a punch to his stomach. "Sasuke-kun," said Mei, a fangirl, that after having seen how her beloved had been hit, she jumped to his rescue, with the other Uchiha charging with her. In that moment, Hinata jumped between the two of them and spinning in midair, she attacked the two of them, Mei with a punch and Kotaro with a kick. "Enough. The match is over," said Iruka as he saw that 3 of the students are down. That ended the match, but Hinata was still not finished as she walked towards Sasuke. Then she told him something that only Sasuke could hear. No one knows what she told him, but the look of fury on his face meant that it was not something nice. After that, she just walked away. That match marked the end of the sparring session and the day. Today was a day where they would train together. Normally they would be talking about everything, but today they were walking in silence with Hinata leading the way. "Hinata, are you okay?" asked Naruto. "Did that jerk say something that bothered you?" asked Hanabi. "I have never seen you so mad. I never even believed that you could get mad," said Yakumo. "It was nothing," said Hinata. "Hinata-chan," the way Naruto said her name made her stop. "Please, I know that you are mad, but I am your friend, we are all your friends, and if he said something that offended you, I will go and talk to him." "That is the problem." "What? I do not understand," said Naruto. "You only get mad when someone is being mean to any of us, but when someone is mean to you, you just ignore it and tell us to do the same. Don't you see that we feel the same thing that you do when someone is being mean to someone that we care about? If someone insulted us and then we told you to ignore it, you would feel bad, wouldn't you? It is the same for us." Naruto remained silent for a moment. "It is true that I will feel bad, but my case is different." "How can it be different?" asked Hinata. "Because I don't know why the people hate me, and if I do not know the reason, then how can I solve that situation? The only thing that I know is that if I get mad, I will only make things worse for me, and I don't want my problems to affect any of you. I don't care about those problems. We are ninja, and the problems are part of our lives," said Hinata with determination, standing right in front of Naruto. "So please, let us do for you the things that you would do for us." Naruto saw how serious Hinata and the others were, and it hurt him know that his actions had caused them some trouble. That is the last thing that he wanted to happen. Hanabi and Yakumo were nodding their heads. Ino and Sakura for their part were looking at their interaction, secretly wishing that they can experience a moment like that with Sasuke. Talking about Sasuke, when they saw what Hinata did to him, Sakura almost screamed at her, but Ino stopped her. If they stopped training with them, they would lose their chance to attract Sasuke. At least that is what Ino said to Sakura to stop her. "By the way, One-sama, what did that jerk tell you to get you so mad?" "He made fun of how Naruto-kun is an orphan. Sasuke-kun would never do that." Sakura tried to defend Sasuke. "But he did. To him, the fact that someone can surpass him hurts his pride, and the fact that Naruto-kun is doing it alone is even worse for him." But, Sakura tried to say something, but Ino stopped her by placing a hand over her shoulder. "Okay. I promise that I will be more open with all of you, besides I am scared that you will get mad and kick me if I don't do it." "I would never kick your Naruto-kun," said Hinata in a sweet smile. Really? Asked Naruto. Of course, I will just find a way to put some sense into you. Answered Hinata. What will you do? I don't want to ruin the surprise, said Hinata as she turned around and walked towards their training area, with a happy step. Do you think that she will be mad at me for too long? Naruto asked Hanabi. She is not mad at you, on the contrary, she is happy. Happy, because she cares about you and you have just promised that you will take more care of yourself, just like she wanted. Besides, you will never break your word, right? Are you telling me that I just did what she wanted? Pretty much, but I have to say that I thank you for what you did for my sister. What do you mean? I didn't do anything special. It has been around a year since you become part of our lives, and not only have you saved our mother's life, but now Hinata is finally showing the security and confidence that I knew that she had inside her. I am happy to hear that, but I never expect that she would change so much. In fact, if the stories that I hear from the elders are true, she is beginning to act like mom did when she was around our age. Really, I can't imagine Akane-sama in that way. Me neither, but the elder that told me that she and two of her friends were new as the terrible trio. I would love to hear those stories, said Naruto. I would tell you, but when my mom heard that elder telling us those stories, she gave her the order to never tell those stories again, and told us the same, so sorry, but no stories for you. With that, Hanabi joined her sister. Hey, that is not fair. I want to hear those stories. Sorry, but no, said Hanabi. Hinata-chan, Hanabi is bullying me. Sorry Naruto-kun, but she is my sister and therefore she gets a free pass. That is no fair, Naruto complained in a childish way, but later he smiled. It is good to see that Hinata isn't sad anymore. Yes, it is, but now I wonder what future surprises the Hyūga sisters will give us in the future, said Yakumo. I don't know, but I am sure that it will be interesting, said Naruto. Now with a new mood, they headed to the training area, while Ino and Sakura looked at them trying to understand what they had just seen before following them. While this was happening, in another part of the village, Sasuke was walking towards his home, being followed by a couple of the Uchiha Clan boys that were walking behind him. They had offered to help him, but he only got mad. If someone were to ask what the cause of his attitude was, the answer is simple. What Hinata told him when she beat him as no one has done in his entire life. Naruto-kun is stronger than me, and he just held back the last time that the two of you sparred. Those words were burning Sasuke's mind. Hey little brother, are you okay? When Sasuke raised his head, he saw his brother Itachi standing at the entryway of the Uchiha compound. Yes, I am fine, Sasuke answered. Are you sure? You look hurt. Today's sparring was a little intense, that is all. I see. Well, it is good that you get these experiences, because they will help you to get stronger. Even if Itachi was worried about his brother and wanted to give him support. In Sasuke's mind, the words from that Anbu were present in his mind. His brother helped that loser and their friends to get stronger, he helped them to humiliate him today. If you want, I can train with you after class when I am not on missions. I will think about that. In the past he would have loved the idea of training with his brother, but now it feels like he is petting him, and he hated that. That night Sasuke began to think what he could do to get even with that Hyūga girl and bother that loser. Time is tireless and keeps moving ever forward, and a couple of weeks have passed since that day. The final tests of this year would be soon, and if he managed to pass them, then that would mean that in just 1 year, he would be free of the academy and finally become a ninja. However, not all was good news for him, because he still hadn't been able to use Mokuton, and he had begun to doubt that it would even be possible for him, but giving up simply wasn't part of his nature. It was for that reason that he made the promise that before this school year ended, he would be able to make even a small plant grow. With that goal in mind, Naruto had been staying late while training, hoping that he would be able to achieve his goal. He could never imagine that this was the day that he would achieve his goal, but not in the way that he expected. a way that would allow many of the more important shinobi of the village to know that the Mokuton had returned, and that the Senju clan now had an heir. Naruto had just called an end to his training for the day, and he was heading to his apartment. He had been training alone today, because the classes were called off. Why? He didn't care. Any excuse was a good one if it meant that he and his friends could leave the academy early to train. Sadly, today was one of the days that he had to train alone. Normally those old men Kosuke and Chen would come to give him some advice, but today they hadn't come. He was so focused on thinking about how he could potentially awaken the Mokuton that he almost missed it. Something caught his eyes. It was a metallic object. Being the curious boy that he was, he moved in for a closer look, and when he picked it up he saw that it was a kunai. But this kunai was different from the ones that he was familiar with. This kunai had an extra point. Maybe Iruka-sensei will know what it is, said Naruto to himself, but in that moment, something that he couldn't explain told him to jump to his side. Something that he did not a moment too soon, because a second later a couple kunai of identical to the one that he held in his hand landed where he was a second ago. Not bad, kid, said a voice from the top of a tree. When Naruto turned toward the voice, he saw that there were 3 shinobi with clothing that he has never seen before. What are we going to do now? Asked the one on the left. Yeah, the mission said that no one must know that we were here. And that is what will happen after we eliminate that boy over there. Sorry, kid, you were just unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, said the leader as she threw one more kunai, but this time Naruto used the one in his hand to block it. All the training that he did in the past had just saved his life. What is your problem? Why are you attacking me? You are very good, kid, I will give you credit, but playtime is over, said the leader as he pulled out a short sword and jumped down to ground level. Naruto for his part was worried. He could tell that this shinobi is serious. During his training with Kosuke and Chen he realized that while he may be good for his age, he shouldn't try to face a Jonin, especially 3 of them at the same time, so he did the best thing that he could think of to buy himself some time. Take this, said Naruto as a cloud of smoke appeared in front of him. Please, you wouldn't hurt us, right? Said a beautiful blonde girl that appeared with another 2 right next to her. I am sure that we can have a good time, said the other blonde. We promise that you won't regret it. The 3 Jonin stared at the 3 girls before they destroyed them without mercy. Too bad, kid, that trick could have worked on useless men, but not on us, said the leader as they removed their masks showing that they were women. Without wasting any time, the leader took a kunai and jumped toward Naruto. The poor boy tried to run, but the leader was very fast and in less than a second, she was next to him and had stabbed him in the back. But instead of blood and the scream of pain from the boy she expected, the only thing that she got was a small cloud of smoke as the figure of the boy disappeared. He used those clones as a diversion. We must stop him. If he alerts the ninja of this village, we'll have failed our mission. With that, the 3 women began to follow him, something that they could do because one of them is a sensor type. Damn it. I was hoping that the Waroke no Jutsu, sexy jutsu, would give me more time, said Naruto as he got the memories of his clones. Knowing that he couldn't outrun them, he chose to try to hide, hoping to find for an opportunity to either escape or attack from the shadows. Thankfully, Naruto knew this area of the forest and knew the best hiding place, so he managed to get hidden as he reduced his breathing, hoping to also suppress his chakra signature. And he did it just in time as the enemy ninja arrived in the clearing. He is here. I can't tell where because he suppressed his chakra signature, but I can tell that he is here. Now that I think about it, I believe that I have seen that kid before, said one of the kunoichi. Are you sure? Asked the leader. How can you know about a kid from another village? Asked the other one. I am not sure, but in that moment she turned around to launch a kunai right at a bush. Naruto had just jumped from the bush, avoiding the attack. There you are, said the leader. Wait, said one of them. Now I remember where I have seen his face. Why is that so important now? We must kill him anyway. No witnesses, remember? It is important because he is the Kyūbi Jinchuriki. Remember the picture that our spy gave us? He is that boy. After she said that, the other two kunoichi turned to see Naruto. It is true, he really is Konoha's Jinchuriki, said the leader. How does that change the mission? Asked the other kunoichi. We should capture him and take him to our village. If that is not possible, we must kill him to weaken Konoha's power. What the hell are you talking about? What is this Jinchurin whatever? And I am not going anywhere with you, said Naruto, who didn't like what they were talking about. It seems that the report is true. They have not even told him that he has a demon sealed inside him, said the leader, remembering the information that their spy gave them. Demon. Stop talking nonsense, said Naruto. He hated that word. After all, that is the insult that many in the village used against him whenever they believed that he couldn't hear them. I don't know if I should laugh at you or pity you. I don't need anyone's pity, said Naruto. Let me guess, your entire life you have been treated like a monster and the people around you don't care if you live or die. In fact, in their eyes your life is worth less than garbage. Naruto went silent, wondering how they knew that if they weren't from this village. Your silence gave us the answer, and I am sure that you want to know why that is. Why your entire life you have been nothing but a demon in their eyes, said the leader as she made a few signals that her two companions understood. Naruto knew that he needed to escape from here, but he needed to know the answer that no one in this village would ever tell him. Because the night that the Kyūbi attacked this village, your fourth Hokage didn't kill him, he sealed him inside a newborn baby so the village could later use him as a weapon. That is not true. How can a monster be inside a person? They are called Jinchuriki, people that have demons sealed inside them, as sacrifices that can be used as weapons for the sake of their villages, including you. There are 9 Jinchuriki in this world, each of them have been treated the same as you, as a tool just waiting to be used by their villages. No, that cannot be true. Naruto was so affected by those words that he did not see how the other two kunoichi got behind him in a second and knocked him unconscious. Now we need to take him back to our village. I am sure that we will receive a big reward for capturing the Kyūbi Jinchuriki, said the leader as they proceeded to bind Naruto with ninja wire. Damn, if I had known that this would happen I would have brought some chakra suppressor seals. We need to hurry before he wakes up, said the leader. While this was happening, deep inside Naruto's mind, he awakened in a very strange place. Where am I? And why is there water on the floor? Asked Naruto as he began to look around this place that looked like an underground dungeon. Hello? Is anyone here? There was no answer. But he could hear water coming from the hallway that was next to him, so he chose to follow it. He did not need to walk for awfully long until he found an excessively large cage, so big that it rose to the ceiling. Forgetting about his current situation, he got closer to the cage. I see that you have finally come to pay me a visit, said a deep voice from inside the cage. Who are you? What is this place? Asked Naruto. We are in the deepest part of your mind, and I am the one that you have learned exists inside of you. With that, Kurama used his chakra to illuminate his cage, allowing Naruto to see him. Normally he would try to attack him through the cage, but this is not a normal situation if this boy really is the reincarnation of Asura. So, it is true, I really am a monster. Don't make me laugh, there is no way that you could compare to me, said Kurama. But you are inside me, how can I not be a monster? Because my father was the same as you. Your father. My father was the one that the mortals call the Rakudo Sennin, sage of the 6 paths, said Kurama with pride. Who? Asked Naruto, who didn't know whom he was talking about. Kurama almost face-faulted when he heard his answer. The only thing that prevented that from happening was his pride. I almost forgot how ignorant humans can be. Who are you calling ignorant, furball? Kurama did not react, he just looked at him as he spoke. I know that you grew up without parents, but even you must know that you need to respect your older siblings, and to answer your question, he is the one that created chakra and what you call ninjutsu. even if his real intention was to create ninshu, said Kurama. Ninshu. I have heard that word before. Because you heard how that man used it when he was teaching his children in your dreams. That is true. Hey, wait a minute. How do you know about my dreams? Because each time that you have those dreams, I also see them. But what does this have to do with your father? Don't you get it? He was my father, and the boy in the white clothes that you see was his younger son. I do not understand what that means. We will talk about that later, but now you have a bigger problem. Those ninja are taking you away from here. They want to extract me from you so that they can seal me inside someone from their village. If that happens, you will die. What? This is not a game. This is real and your life is at risk, and I am limited to how much I can help you. You are going to help me. You and I need to talk, and if you die, that will never happen, but as I said, I am limited by this cage. I will only be able to give you a little bit of my chakra, that will give you the power to break free, and after that, you need to run as fast as you can. Don't try to face them, they are veteran ninja, and even with my help, I cannot guarantee that you will win. Your best option is to run and try to make as much noise as you can to attract others here. Really? Thanks, I guess. Before you leave, you need to know two things. The first is why you have not been able to use Mokuton. That definitely attracted Naruto's attention. In order to use Mokuton, you need to use not only your chakra but the natural chakra that is around you. But how? The meditation exercise that you have been practicing with your girlfriends. I have to say that you are lucky. Normally, trying to use natural chakra could kill you if you made even a tiny mistake, but fortunately you managed to remember the right way to teach others how to learn to use the natural chakra, so if you manage to join that chakra even if it's for a little while, you will be able to use it. Really? Thanks a lot. The second thing is particularly important. They are trying to kill you. If you have the chance to kill them, do it. It will improve your chance to survive. Kill them. I am not sure I want to do that. If you die, you won't be able to see those girls ever again. I don't know if they will want to be with me if they know about what I have inside me. Said Naruto a little sadly. I see. You do not have faith in them. Maybe they are unworthy of your time. What are you saying? They are my friends, so of course they are worthy. In fact, I am lucky to be their friend. You have answered your own question. If they are really your friends, then they will accept you. If not, that means that they never truly were. Now hurry up, you do not have much time. With that, Kurama sent a wave of chakra that pushed Naruto away. Back in the real world, the three kunoichi were taking Naruto away. He was tied, and the leader was carrying him on her back. They were rushing, because their plan was only to meet their contact and get the information that they needed about Konoha's forces. But now they had the chance of their lifetimes and have captured the Kyūbi Jinchuriki. They were lucky because according to their contact he was being taught badly at the academy in order to keep him weak so he could fail in case he became dangerous. Despite that, the boy showed himself to be better than what they expected from an academy student, but they still managed to capture him, and now they are moving at full speed to leave enemy territory as quickly as they can. This mission will make us legends, not like those idiots of Kumo who failed to capture the Kyūbi Jinchuriki of that time. On the contrary, we have succeeded, said one of the kunoichi. Do not celebrate until we get out of the land of fire, warned the leader. In that moment, without warning, she felt a great chakra wave that came from the boy she was carrying. Gare! Naruto screamed as he broke the wire that was tying him. The kunoichi were taken by surprise by the chakra wave and that made them fall, but when they recovered, they saw that Naruto was running back in the direction of Konoha. Get him, said the leader as they began their pursuit. However, Naruto was using the last of the chakra that Kurama had given him to run as fast as he could. I hope this works, said Naruto as he took out a practice explosive tag, a tag meant for academy students to practice. They look like a normal explosive tag, but instead of exploding with destructive power, they only created a colored smoke cloud with a loud sound. Taking all the tags that he had, he threw them as high as he could. Boom! The sound could be heard throughout the entire area, with smoke clouds of multiple colors. Shit. That little monster has revealed our position to anyone that might be looking for us. Now we do not have any choice, we have to kill him, said the leader as she began to make some hand signs. Raiden. Sandabaru, lightning release, thunder ball, said the leader as she attacked. Thankfully, a tree that Naruto was next to covered him as he ran next to it, but the power of the explosion sent him flying in another direction. Sweden. Arakuru Nami, water release, raging waves, said one of the other kunoichi, her attack hitting Naruto as he was trying to get up. Grr, was the sound that could be heard when Naruto hit a tree after he was impacted by the enemy jutsu. Naruto had never felt so much pain in his entire life. These ninja were trying to kill him, and for the first time in a long time, he felt real fear. He also felt pain as a consequence of having to use the chakra of the Kyūbi to break free from the wire that they were using to restrain him. I am going to die, they really are going to kill me, said Naruto, but in that moment the images of Hinata, Hanabi, Akane and Yakumo appeared in his mind. No, I cannot give up, not yet. With that, he began to gather what little chakra he had left as he tried to do just what the Kyūbi had told him. Boss, there is a problem. I can feel a lot of chakra signatures coming here at full speed. If we do not leave now, they will capture us, said the sensor ninja. Then I will finish this now, said the leader, and she began to make the hand signs that would kill the Jinchuriki, damaging Konoha's military capacity. However, the time that she spent listening to her partner's report and making the hand signs was all that Naruto needed. When Naruto saw that they were planning to kill him with their final attack, he prayed that this would work. But in that moment, he realized something. He didn't know any Mokuton ninjutsu. Dai, Raiden. Inazuma no Jutsu, lightning release, lightning beam technique, said the leader. When the attack was about to hit Naruto, it happened again. A series of images flashed before his eyes. The images of the first Hokage training with his brother. This time his brother had a lightning-like sword. He was helping to develop a defense against Raiden attacks. The result of that training flashed through Naruto's mind. Mokuton. Mokushirudo no Jutsu, wood release, wooden shield technique, screamed Naruto at the last moment. A shock-rocking explosion could be heard as dust covered the area. It is done. Let's go, said the leader. But in the moment when they were about to leave, they heard a shout. Mokuton. Mokuryu no Jutsu, wood release, wood dragon technique. And from the dust a serpent-like dragon sped toward them and grabbed them. What is this? Said one of them. This damn thing is made of wood, said the other one. It can't be, said the leader as she saw how a wood wall stopped right in front of where that boy was, and how the wood dragon came from the bottom of the wood wall. Then from behind that wall Naruto stepped out. He looked tired and in pain, but had his hand in a praying position, and from the look on his face he was putting all his effort into it. You are a Mokuton user, said the leader. This is bad, boss. Our pursuers will be here at any moment. We have to get out of here now, said the censor type. It is too late for that, said a voice from a nearby tree. When they turned toward the voice they saw a silver-haired Jonin looking down at them from above, and he wasn't alone, a squad of Anbu were with him. Why are you leaving so soon? We were hoping to enjoy your company a little while longer. In fact, we have prepared a special suite just for you, and you do not need to worry, Ibiki is a great host. In that moment, the three kunoichi knew that this was over. In that moment, Naruto, exhausted by the effort, lost consciousness and fell to the ground. By that time, the Anbu had already put chakra suppression seals on them and tied them up with ninja wire. They weren't going anywhere. However, at the same time another group were looking at the unconscious boy. They knew who he was, but in that moment, they were more concerned about what they had seen him do. Tenzo, just to confirm, you were not the one doing this, right? Asked the silver-haired man. No, and don't ask me how this is possible, because I have no idea. We need to take him to the hospital, said the silver-haired man. Time skip. The next morning. The problem with trying to keep a secret in a ninja village, a place where they train to get the secrets of others, was that the same happened to their own, even if they didn't want that to happen. That was what the third Hokage was experiencing, as he had to call to a meeting. The reason? Because by now all the major clans and his advisors had heard from an anonymous source that an orphan had used the legendary Mokuton, and to make the matter worse, that orphan was Naruto. I never expected this, but now that is happening, I guess I have no choice but to reveal this piece of information, said Hiruzen as he was in front of the Shinobi Council and his advisors. But will say this once. If this information gets out of this room, I will have the one responsible charged with treason, and you had better tell your anonymous source who told you about the events of last night the same. Forget that and tell me what has happened to Naruto, said a worried Akane. Normally, only her husband would be in this meeting, but because of her relationship with Naruto, Hiruzen had also called for her. Normally, this would be unacceptable, but part of him was happy to see how Akane was really concerned about Naruto. This story began in the Third Shinobi World War, when my predecessor Tobirama-sama was still active as Hokage, and the son of the first Hokage was acting as the clan head. As you know, Keitaro-sama lost his wife due to difficulties in childbirth. What neither of you know is that a couple of years later he began a relationship with one of the village girls who worked in their compound. They chose to keep their relationship a secret and wait until the end of the war to get married, but as you know Tobirama-sama died saving mine and my teammates' lives, and Keitaro-sama died 6 months later. But what is the relationship of that story with what happened today? Asked Fugaku. The fact that Mokuton had reappeared in a natural way was something that could have a great impact on his clan. The woman who had a relationship with Keitaro-sama was pregnant by the time that he died. All present remained in silence. If that is true, then why have we never heard about this? Asked Shikaku. He already had an idea, but he needed confirmation. Because she was fired from her job as servant to the Senju clan. But why? Asked Inoichi. We are not talking about the child of any clan member, but the son of the clan head and a direct descendant of the first Hokage. They must have wanted to preserve their reputation, said Shikaku. I wanted to protest, but I was just recently put in charge and the Senju were a founding clan. The rules about not interfering in internal clan affairs were used, and for that reason I had to respect their decision. However, I still helped the girl to have her baby and find a new job. Unfortunately, she died when her boy was 10 years old. I did the best that I could and supported the boy. He even joined the academy and became a ninja. Sadly, he also died on the night of the Kyūbi attack, but not before he had his own child, and that child is Naruto. Now all those present were surprised. Why were we not informed of this? Asked Homura. Clan laws. The only one that could allow me to say anything about this is Tsunade, but she left the village before she could accept her position as clan head, and before I could tell her anything about this. Are you saying that Naruto is Tsunade's nephew? Asked Akane. That is indeed the case. I believe that I speak for all those present when I say I don't want to be in the same room as you when Tsunade finds out about this and comes to demand answers, said Shikaku. All those present nodded in agreement. I thank you for this show of loyalty, said a sarcastic Hokage. Sorry Hokage-sama, but we would not face an angry Tsunade even for a fortune, added Choza. Back to the topic at hand, we need to determine what we should do. Now that Mokuton has returned in a natural way, we must not lose it again, said Shikaku. The boy will need special training, said Inoichi. If that is the case, I would like to offer my services to train the boy, said Danzō. Over my dead body, was Akane's immediate answer, surprising all those present. Akane, Hiyashi tried to calm her. Silence. All those present here know what you consider training, and what you do to the people in your charge. I still do not understand why the Hokage has not sentenced you to death. Those are strong words for someone who only wants what is the best for Konoha, said a calm Danzō. Oh, believe me, I am not saying even half of the things that I think about you, and cut the act of, what is the best for Konoha. All those present here know that you only care about what is the best for you. And there is no way in hell that I will allow you or anyone else to hurt that boy. And can you tell me what gives you the right to say those words? Asked Koharu. Ever since he cured me and helped my children, I have been looking after him for over a year while the rest of you ignored him, said Akane. I have wanted to ask you about your recovery, but are you saying that Naruto is the one that cured you? Asked Shikaku. Yes, he did, was Akane's answer. But how is that possible? Asked Inoichi. Hashirama-sama's chakra had healing powers, was Koharu's answer. It seems that Naruto is indeed the true heir of the Senju clan, said Hiashi. More reason to allow me to train him, said Danzō. That will never happen, was Akane's answer, defying him without fear. Enough. What will happen is that I will send a team to look for Tsunade and bring her home. Until then I will assign a special guardian that will help Naruto to develop his powers. Are you talking about him? Asked Akane. That is correct, Tenzo, said the Hokage as one of his Anbu appeared in front of him. Yes, Hokage-sama. From now on you will be the guardian of Naruto, and you will also help him to train in his new powers. Also, your new mission will need a more social approach, so from now on your name will be Yamato. As you command. While this was happening, inside Naruto's mind. Back so soon. Well, at least you are alive, said Kurama. Many things happened, and somehow I managed to survive and, well, here I am, said Naruto, who now turned to see the Kyūbi. You are different from what I expected. Believe me, if the circumstances were any different, I would never have even considered talking with you. You said that the old man that I see in my dreams is your dad, right? How is that possible? The only explanation that I can think of is that you are the reincarnation of his younger son Asura, who later reincarnated into your first Hokage. How is that possible? I don't know, but I can no longer deny that fact. What is going to happen now? This means that I am nothing more than a copy of that Asura guy in the first Hokage. That will depend on you. While you have their memories and they have become a tool for you to use, how you use them will determine if you will become a cheap copy of them or if you will surpass them. And how I can do that? That will depend on you. Thanks. You are nicer than your reputation. Do not for 1 second believe that I am doing this for you, I have my own reasons. Really, as long as you have those dreams, I have the chance to see my father again, that is the only reason I am helping you. So try not to die so easily, because I would lose this chance and die alongside you. But you can help me with your chakra again. This seal limits what I can do. Any ill intent that I have toward you, it will stop me, and even if I wanted to help you, the amount of my chakra that your body can handle is limited, so your best option is to grow stronger so that your body can handle more of my power. That is what I will do. Just wait a little while and I will show you that I will be the best reincarnation of this soul. There is something else, but I cannot confirm it. What is it? The only link between Asura and your first Hokage was that they both were able to use the Mokuton and the natural chakra. Now that you have awakened both powers, it is possible that your access to their techniques and experiences will be easier, but that is only speculation on my part. Amazing. I will become super strong. You really don't look like the monster that the adults said attacked the village. Like I care for this stupid village. Besides, I didn't attack this village of my own volition. Really? What happened? Kurama then began to tell the story about why he attacked the village, leaving out the identity of his previous host. Next day, a new meeting was taking place in the council room. However, this time there were more people than before, including Itachi and Makoto. They were here because they had a good relationship with Naruto. Of course, they were told to keep what they are about to hear a secret. At the moment, Naruto is telling them the events of the previous day, about how he found the 3 kunoichi and what they said to him. So, they say that they knew you because their spy told them about you. Asked an Anbu captain. Yes, they first wanted to kill me, but when they recognized me they changed their plan to take me to their village, said Naruto. Cat, did you find something with them? Asked the Hokage. They had documents that told our patrol routes for the next 3 weeks, as well as the information on some of the clan heirs of the village, including Naruto-san here, said the Anbu with a cat mask. How is the interrogation going? Ibiki is making this his top priority, but those documents confirmed that we have a traitor inside the village, said another Anbu. As soon as the Anbu said that, Ibiki entered the room. Ibiki, did you manage to find something? Asked the Hokage because he didn't expect to see him at this moment. I have bad news, those 3 kunoichi were murdered last night. But they were inside a maximum security cell, how is that possible? Asked Inoichi. I am afraid that this can only mean that the traitor is covering their tracks, and that whoever they are must have either the skill to get into that cell and kill them or the resources to send someone else, said Shikaku. We can't ignore that we are in danger, said Fugaku. Naruto, did they say anything else? Asked the Hokage. They also told me about the Kyūbi that is sealed inside me. Now the entire room went silent. When were you planning to tell me? Asked a serious Naruto. Naruto, this is a delicate matter, and I was planning on waiting until you get older to tell you this. And in case you had died before that happened, then who would tell me that? Asked Naruto in a cold tone. I gave instructions to someone to tell you in case that happened. But now I need to ask you, what you did the other day, that wooden dragon, how did you do it? Naruto remembered the talk that he had with Kurama after he told him about the events on the night of the attack. Do not give them too much information. About a year ago I saw how some plants reacted to my chakra, so I began to research about what might cause that. Hinata-chan let me borrow a book that talked about the first Hokage. In that book there was a part that mentioned some of the jutsu he could use, that wood dragon is one of them, and because I believed that it would look very cool, I have been practicing ever since. The adults were impressed, learning that technique alone was something that only a prodigy could do. But there is something that I want to ask you. The book said that the Mokuton is a bloodline. That means that it is a power that only a member of the same family can have. So far I believed that what I was doing could be something similar, that maybe only the plants are reacting to my chakra, but last night, it was wood. I can use the same power of the first Hokage, and I believe that I deserve an answer as to why. The adults present knew that the boy would not be happy about this. Taking a deep breath, the Hokage told Naruto the story that he told the others the other day. By the end they saw how Naruto was clenching his fists. Do you mean that I was part of a family and you never told me? Besides Tsunade, who is away from the village and never learned about your father's existence, you are probably the last of your clan, and if our enemies learn about that they will come and try to kill you. What about my father? I am sorry Naruto, but I can only reveal that information once you become a Chunin. What the hell, old man? Naruto, manners, said Akane. I know that you are mad. In fact I am as well, but getting mad will not help you, and you need to remember that a ninja is always calm, even in the worst possible situations. That is why you should allow me to train the boy. I will teach him how to control his temper and his powers, said Danzō. Like I said yesterday, over my dead body. Naruto for his part did not know what to think. Just a moment ago Akane-sama had told him to remain calm, and now she showed how angry she was toward that man that looked like a mummy. Akane-sama, asked Naruto. You can't trust that man, do you hear me Naruto? He is someone that should have been executed long ago, but he has been using his prior relationship with the Hokage and the 2 advisors to avoid that. If you trust me Naruto, then you must stay away from him. Akane has just said in public what all the members of the council said in secret, and no one could believe it. The face of the old counselors said that they did not like what she said. We are the elders of Konoha, and we are here to make certain that we take the best actions for the village. Since when? Said Makoto, supporting her friend Akane. I could ask the same of you. After all, your clan is still under investigation for the Kyūbi attack all those years ago. Another bomb was dropped on this meeting. The suspicion against the Uchiha clan because of the Kyūbi attack was a very delicate matter, and many believed that it could get worse if a solution was not found. My clan is innocent. We are loyal to Konoha, said Fugaku. From all the Uchiha, only Shisui could have controlled the Kyūbi with his Sharingan, and we haven't seen him since a week before the attack, said Danzō. That is why I should be the one in charge of training the boy for the good of the village. Look at what the Hyūga clan is doing. They are manipulating him to be loyal to them only, and how do we know that we will not have a new attack planned from them? Maybe they were part of the first attack. Naruto could now see why no one liked that old mummy. Oi Naruto, it was Kurama, he was talking inside his mind. There is something strange about that man. Listen, I want you to say this, I want to confirm something. Naruto listened to what the Kurama said and then he interrupted the adults that were arguing. I met the Kyūbi last night. The entire room got silent after he said that. Are you okay? Asked a worried Akane. Yeah, it happened last night while I was in the hospital. He said that it was because I used part of his chakra in the fight that I was able to meet him. He was inside a huge cage that was in a place that looked like a dungeon. Did he say anything else? Asked a worried Hokage. Nothing. He just said that I should leave so he can go back to sleep and keep ignoring me, but when I asked why he attacked the village he told me something strange. Naruto now has the attention of all those present. He said that the one that released him and forced him to attack the village had a very strange smell. He said that it smelled like the first Hokage, but he also had a Sharingan, but his Sharingan was strange because he only had it in his right eye. Then turning to Makoto he asked, is it normal to only have the Sharingan in one eye? No. When a member of my clan awakens the Sharingan it is always in both eyes. The only way to have a Sharingan in one eye is if it is implanted, answered Makoto as she looked at Kakashi to reinforce her point. I see, but what does he mean by smelling like the first Hokage? Some creatures can tell the power level and even the clan that a ninja belongs to just by their smell, like my clan's Ninken, said a woman with red marks on her face. But what does that mean? Asked Naruto. That beast was probably lying to you, said Kaharu. That also leads us to another matter, said Shikaku. We need to confirm if you can use the Mokuton at will or if was just a causality. His goal was to make the meeting advance because they have touched very delicate topics. What are you planning? Asked Akane, worried for Naruto. Shikaku pointed at one small bonsai that was in the corner of the room. Naruto, could you please make that bonsai grow a little? Kurama, who was listening this meeting, had a big smirk on his face and contacted Naruto once again. Hey Gaki, I will give you a little of my chakra, but don't only focus your Mokuton powers on that little tree, focus the biggest part on that mummy man. Why? Asked Naruto. Just trust me. Okay, I will do it, said Naruto to both the council and Kurama. Naruto began to make a few hand signs that now felt natural for him, and when he made the last one, all those present could see how a golden chakra was formed in Naruto's hands. In that moment, the bonsai began to grow a little, but that wasn't the only thing that was happening. What the? Said Danzō as he felt how his right arm began to react to Naruto's technique. He tried to stand up and leave but it was too late, because from under his clothes some deformations could be seen, moving from one side to the other, in the right side of his body, until they finally tore his clothes and a branch could be seen. But that wasn't the biggest surprise, because on his shoulder all those present including his former teammates could see the face of the first Hokage. What is happening? Asked Choza. That face, it is the first Hokage's face, and somehow that white part of his body is reacting to Naruto's chakra, said Yamato who was also present. Are you sure? Asked Akane. This is the same kind of experiment that was done to me by Orochimaru. That means that he has some connection with that criminal in his experiments, said Yamato. By then the tree had stopped growing, but by doing so it also broke a metal cage that Danzō had around his right arm. All those present froze when they saw many Sharingan implanted into his body. There was no turning back. Danzō's secret had been revealed. Danzō, how could you? You disgraced Sensei's grave too. It was not a question, but a sad confirmation from the Hokage. This has to be something that demon brat did. Danzō tried to place the fault on Naruto. All those present here were present the night of the Kyūbi attack. I can tell you that we will never forget the feeling of his chakra, and we did not feel it in Naruto, said Inoichi. That also does not explain the Sharingan in your arm, you bastard. How many of my clan did you kill to steal them? Asked a furious Fugaku. How do we know that you didn't do the same to some our clan members that went missing in action, you traitor? Said Hiashi, for the first time in the meeting. Danzō was in a difficult situation. Half his right arm was now a big tree, and his secret was exposed. His only chance was to use his right eye. That would delay his plans for years, but he had no other choice. You son of a bitch. Everybody be careful, he has Shisui's right eye, said Akane with her Byakugan active. When she felt that a fight would be imminent, she activated her Byakugan, but because she had done some missions with Shisui, she was able to recognize the chakra from his right eye. I am going to kill you, said Makoto. She was the godmother of Shisui and his disappearance had hurt her deeply. To know that this was what happened to him, oh, she will make Danzō and his entire route pay for this. Route, said Da.